Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages. So today we'll be going over my May TBR, but before we get into that, I did just want to run through a few things. So first things first, there will be no April wrap-up, which is honestly wild because I don't think I went without filming a wrap-up since I started my channel. But because of everything going on in my personal life, you guys know that I have been struggling a little bit when it comes to my reading. I haven't been reading as many books as I normally do, and I'm hoping to get back on track one day, but unfortunately April was just not that month, nor was it the time for me to have that day. So I will not be filming an April wrap-up. I am just going to include any of the books that I read in April into my May wrap-up, just so that way the video can be longer. And the books that I did read were off of my April TBR, so claps for that, claps for that. I'm so proud of myself. But like I said, I just did not finish as many books as I was hoping to. The second thing that I wanted to say is that this video might not be that long either, because I don't plan on reading as many books for the month of May, because Marcus and I are actually moving soon, and y'all know how it gets when you're moving. Things just descended to chaos. So I already anticipate myself not reading as much as I would like anyway this month, but I still wanted to share these books with you today. And of course, I just love filming TBR videos. I just feel like they're one of the most fun videos to film. I love watching other people's TBR videos, and I love getting inspiration and also recommendations from people's videos. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump into my May TBR. So we're going to start out with the books that I actually have physical copies of. The rest of the books that I will show you later on in this video, I'm either waiting for it to come in the mail or I have it on my iPad/Kindle TBR. So I will pop up a picture of those books on the screen once we get to that. So the first book that I have here is actually a thriller, and it is He Started It by Samantha Downing. So you guys have already seen me talk about this book in quite a few videos, and that's because I actually started this book, I think back in March, and I still have yet to finish it. I know y'all, I know I'm flopping so hard, but I did get halfway through, at least. I am currently at page 201, and I do remember exactly where I left off and what has happened so far in the story, so I'm just going to pick up right where I left off and finally close the chapter on this book, no pun intended. I really enjoyed this book when I first dived in and when I really started to get into the story. I think that this plot is brilliant, and I also love Samantha Downing's writing. So I definitely want to continue this and finish this because I feel like this has the potential to be a highly rated thriller. I just haven't really been in the right headspace to read a lot of dark, gruesome books, and so that's why I decided to put this on the back burner. But I really want to jump back into this because I really was enjoying it. I'm still only halfway through, and I don't want to get anything wrong or spoil anything for myself or for you. So in the back here it says, Beth, Portia, and Eddie Morgan haven't all been together in years, and for very good reasons. We'll get to those later. But when their wealthy grandfather dies and leaves a cryptic final message in his wake, the siblings and their respective partners must come together for a cross-country road trip to fulfill his final wish, and more importantly, secure their inheritance. But time with your family can be tough. It is for everyone. It's even harder when you're all keeping secrets and trying to forget a memory, a missing person, an act of revenge, the man in the black truck who won't stop following your car, and especially when at least one of you is the killer and there's a body in the trunk, just to name a few reasons. But money is a powerful motivator. It is for everyone. I feel like that synopsis does encapsulate this book pretty well so far. I am really enjoying it, like I said, and there's so many twists and turns and things that I have not seen coming, and I just can't wait to see where the story goes and what direction Samantha Downing takes us in. So I will let you guys know my thoughts, hopefully, in my May wrap up. Now we're gonna move into the romances, and you guys know that I have been in my romance bag recently. This has been the only thing that has been getting me through these tough times, okay? So I am here for all of the love, all of the and I wanted to continue. So the next book that I have here is Nighthawk by Beverly Jenkins. This is a book of Beverly Jenkins that I'm just so excited to have in my collection because at least when I was searching for this book, it was very hard to find. I could not find this for a decent price in good condition on eBay or Amazon or really anywhere. So I assumed that this was one of those rare Beverly Jenkins books. The last time that I checked, which was a while ago, I will admit, this book was in stock, and I think there were different conditions, so like excellent, good, fair, and they were at an affordable price. But I did get this off of eBay for a decent price. I don't know if somebody was clearing out their attic or what was going on, but Thrift Books had so many Beverly Jenkins books for sale on their eBay page. So of course I had to snatch up as many as I could, and this is one of them that I was able to get, and I'm so excited because the male main character in this book, his name is Ian, aka Nighthawk. He is one of my favorite characters to come out of the Beverly Jenkins universe, and to be honest, all of the Beverly Jenkins books that I have read recently have not included Ian, and I just don't know where he is. Like, where is my guy? So I'm not sure if he like retires after this book, and maybe this book comes after all of those other books. I am not 100% sure. I do not read Beverly Jenkins books in order. I know I should. I actually had someone comment on my video and tell me that I really should read them in order, and like, girl, you right, you absolutely right, but I'm sorry, like I can't do it. I don't have all of the physical books anyway, and so I just feel like it's impossible for me to read all of these books in order, at least right now. Hopefully one day I'll have the space and I'll have the luck of owning all of Beverly Jenkins books, but as of right now, I'm making do with what I got.
I'll do the best I can with what I got. Oh!
So getting back to Nighthawk, like I mentioned, this story follows a character that pops up pretty regularly throughout the Beverly Jenkins universe, and his name is Ian. You don't really get to know too much about him just because he is very private and very to himself, and one of those characters that's just very quiet. But when he does speak, it means something, it matters. This is actually his love story, and I'm so excited to dive into this one because he deserves all of the love. He really does. But on the back here it says, Outlaw Preacher Nighthawk. He's had many names, but he can't escape the past. Since Ian Vance's beloved wife was murdered years ago, the hardened bounty hunter knows he'll never feel love or tenderness again. So he's made it his mission to ensure others get their justice. But when he's charged with delivering a sharp-eyed beauty to the law, Ian can't help but feel he may still have something left to lose. Orphaned at 12, Maggie Freeman has always found her way out of trouble. But now there's a vigilante mob at her back who would like nothing more than to see her hang for a crime she didn't commit. Maggie may have to accept help for the first time in her life. As the past closes in, the sassy prisoner and toughened lawman may just find a passion between them that could bring blinding happiness, if they'll let it. So I can already see that this has some of my favorite tropes. It has forbidden romance. There might be a little bit of enemies to lovers going on, and so I am seated and I am ready. The next book that I have here, I've talked about extensively on my channel. So for all of my OG/consistent viewers, you might want to fast forward through this part because I am going to be talking about this book again because we have new people joining us every single day, which I appreciate. Hello. I just want to make sure that those folks have all of the information that they need, so that way if they want to check out these books, they can do so with knowing what they need to know. So the next book that I have here is Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. So this is the third and final book in the Hoop series, as you can see right here. And this book has made its way onto pretty much every single TBR that I have had throughout this year. And we're now adding it onto the May TBR, folks. I am really, really hoping that I can get to it this month and that I can finish it. I really need to because I talk about this book way too much, as well as the series, and it's time. I need to finish it once and for all. Even though it's breaking my heart just thinking about this series coming to an end, I know that it needs to be done, especially because I do want to reread Longshot and Blockshot at some point and go back and annotate those because those are two of my favorite books of all time, and I also feel like that this is going to be another favorite book of mine. But with Kennedy Ryan's books, they are very emotional, they're very hard-hitting, and that's why I haven't really been compelled to pick this book up as much as I say I want to, just because of the subject matter that goes on within a lot of her stories. But like I said, it's time to put that aside and just finish the series once and for all. The Hoops series is a sports romance series, and it specifically follows basketball players as well as just the sport of basketball. There's 3 books in the series, as you can see here. So you have Longshot, which is the first book, and then you have Blockshot, which is the second, and then Hookshot, which is the third and final book. And these technically can be read as standalones, but I do recommend reading the books in order because the characters from the previous books do pop up in the future books. And it's just fun to see where they end up and how they ended up, in my opinion. That's why I recommend reading the series in order, but you don't necessarily have to. I will just preface and say, please look up trigger warnings, especially the first book, Longshot. There are triggers of domestic violence within that book, so again, just please make sure you do your research before you jump into the series, but I can't recommend it enough. It's amazing, it's incredible, it's phenomenal, and it deserves all of the praise and all of the love and all of the hype that it continues to get from the book community. So this book actually follows the best friends of some of the characters that popped up in Longshot and Blockshot. So you have Keenan and Lotus, and so starting with Keenan is actually a NBA player. He's also a single dad, and he's had a really tumultuous divorce, and because of Keenan being in the limelight, his divorce has unfortunately played out into the public, and there's also custody issues going on between Keenan and his ex-wife and their child. And so Keenan is dealing with all of that on top of just trying to make sure that he is putting his best foot forward and doing the best he can on the court. And then on the flip side of that, you have his love interest named Lotus. She's very spiritual and very like into all of that, and so Lotus is really just that type of character who does her own thing. She's also very protective over those that she loves and cares about. So because of Lotus and Keenan's connection with the main characters in Longshot, they do meet each other for the very first time in that book, but because Lotus and Keenan both have things going on in their personal lives, they don't act on it and they pretty much just like stay away from each other and do their own thing. Until this book, I know that this is going to be amazing, and I just know that I'm going to resonate with Keenan and Lotus so much the way that I resonated with the other characters in their books. And can we just get into this cover one more time, because y'all, so I'm really hoping that I can get to this in the month of May, and if I do, I will let you guys know my thoughts once and for all. Now we're gonna move on to the books that I don't have physical copies of yet. The next book that I have here is Happy Place by Emily Henry. So of course you guys know that I'm a platinum status member of the Emily Henry Hive. I'm so happy that we have another book, and I've seen nothing but glowing reviews for this book. I love that the general consensus is that Emily Henry is just that girl. Like, she is the GOAT. This book was actually featured in my most anticipated romance releases of 2023 video, so this is for real, y'all. Like, I am truly anticipating this book, and this is like my Super Bowl. Right here it says, a couple who broke up months ago make a pact to pretend to still be together for their annual week-long vacation with their best friends in this glittering and wise novel from #1 New York Times bestselling author Emily Henry. So I don't really want to know too much else about this book. I feel like that's a great setup and gives me enough info, and to be honest, I'll read anything that Emily Henry publishes. Even if it's her grocery list, your girl will read it. So I don't really care what this is about. I just know that I'm so excited to finally get this in the mail and to be able to sink my teeth into it, because I just have a feeling that this is going to be another one of her books that I genuinely love and adore, and I'm gonna put up there with Beach Read and Book Lovers. And also, did you guys hear that Book Lovers is going to be turned into a film? I'm winning. All of my faves are turning their books into films or a Hulu series, and I'm here for it. Kennedy Ryan actually just got the green light to turn Before I Let Go into a movie, and y'all already know I've been saying that that book deserves to be a movie because it reads so cinematically. So the fact that we're getting that as a movie, as well as Book Lovers and It Happened One Summer, Taya's gonna have a great year / time whenever these films are released. So I'm here for it. I'm happy. I'm so excited to see that my favorite authors are getting their works that they literally created in their head come to fruition and become an actual movie that everybody can watch and just take something from. I love that, and I love to see it. I really respect not only my favorite authors, but just authors in general, and being able to turn, again, your work into an actual movie or a TV series, that's no easy feat, and not everyone gets the opportunity. So I have to give tens where tens are due. So shout out to Emily Henry, shout out to Kennedy Ryan and Tessa Bailey, my girls. I'm so happy for them, and I just can't wait to see what else they're able to do. And the second to last book that I have here is called Rhyme and Reason by Nia Forrester. So this is a book that I actually featured in my Kindle Unlimited Black Indie Romance Edition video. I will leave that linked up above in the card somewhere, just in case you haven't checked it out yet. But I did mention this book in there because I really want to cut down on my Kindle Unlimited TBR. I have so many books on this TBR, and it's getting out of hand. I do want to start making a dent into it, and I feel like this is the perfect book to do so. This is technically the 7th book in Nia Forrester's Afterwards series, but for me, this is the 2nd book because I actually read the book before this book, which is called Snowflake, and you guys have heard me talk about that on my channel quite a bit. I love that book. The 2 characters that are in Rhyme and Reason actually appeared in Snowflake, so I'm really looking forward to getting to know more about these characters, as well as just seeing how their whole love story plays out. So this story follows 2 characters named Zora and Deuce, and Zora and Deuce actually meet in college, and they pretty much have been inseparable and have been together since they met, and they are looked at as one of those perfect couples. They're very much in love, but unfortunately they do decide to part ways because Zora has big dreams and aspirations and really wants to kickstart her career, and I'm not sure exactly what Zora wants to do, but she wants to make change in the world. And Deuce, on the other hand, comes from a very wealthy family, and I think Deuce is an aspiring like artist similar to his father, so I think he wants to be a rapper or something like that. And because of all of these factors, they do put a strain on Zora and Deuce's relationship, which ultimately leads to their breakup. And so now I think some time has passed, and Zora and Deuce are now out of college. They're doing their own thing until Zora actually returns to where Deuce lives, and now they're pretty much thrown back into each other's lives, and those second chance romance feels definitely come out because Deuce thought he was over Zora, and I'm assuming Zora thought she was over Deuce. But as we progress throughout the story, we'll obviously see that Zora and Deuce are still in love with each other and are going to find their way back to one another. I'm also really happy to be back in the world of Nia Forrester because, again, I really enjoyed Snowflake, and I want to read more from this author. And the last book that I hope to read during the month of May is actually a part of a series, and it's the 2nd book in the series, and it is called Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. So for those of you who do not know, I'm slowly making my way into the dark romance genre. I have read a few books here and there when it comes to this genre, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I like, because I feel like with this genre, it is very hit or miss, and because of the taboo topics and the intense content warnings and trigger warnings and all of that stuff, it can be very hard to find something that you're interested in and that doesn't completely take you out of your comfort zone. So I've heard a lot of booktubers and I've seen a lot of bookstagrammers say that mafia romance is pretty much like the easy, beginner friendly intro into dark romance. And I've read mafia romances in the past. I was a huge Wattpad girly, so this is nothing new to me. This is not my first rodeo, y'all, but I haven't really read that many mafia romances in my adulthood. I read the first book in this series, which is called the Brutal Birthright series, but the first book in this series is called Brutal Prince, and I think I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars, and I still stand by that. I enjoyed it. I do wish that there was a little bit more of a slow burn, and I wish we could have dragged out a little bit more of the angst and anticipation and yearning when it came to the 2 characters in that story, but it's fine. It's fine. I still enjoyed the book. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have been putting off The Stolen Heir just because the subject matter in this book is a lot more intense, in my opinion, than the first book. There is a kidnapping and a hostage situation involved with this book, so I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but I'm going to be open-minded and give it a try and see how it goes. The synopsis on the back here is vague enough. So right here it says, "They murdered my father, so I stole their daughter. She's my captive, my little ballerina who dances only for me. Nessa is sweet and innocent. She doesn't deserve any of this, but that's how our world works. The wolves eat the lambs, no matter how gentle they may be. I'll use her to get my revenge, unless I give in to my hunger first." So as y'all can hear by that synopsis, this is going to be very intense. And because I read the first book, I do know the identity of the kidnapper, and let's just say that he is a very ruthless and callous man. So I'm praying for Nessa, okay? I'm praying for Nessa. And again, I am willing to have an open mind going into this book. And I also love the new covers for this series. I genuinely think that I'm going to get the ones that I really enjoyed out of the series. So I do think that I'm going to get a physical copy of Brutal Prince. I thought that it was a good enemies to lovers story. And you guys know that's my favorite trope of all time when it comes to romances. So I definitely think I want to have that on my shelves. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that book at some point, but we'll see for the rest of the series. Right, y'all, and those are all of the books that I hope to read during the month of May. Now, please keep in mind that there are some other books from April that I need to throw onto this TBR, but I've already talked about those books enough, so we're not gonna do it again. But just know that this TBR is a little bit bigger than I said it was going to be, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm just going to treat this as like my pile of possibilities and just pick out whatever books I'm in the mood for at that moment out of this pile and go from there. My April/May wrap up is going to be a hodgepodge of just random books, and I'm really excited to see how that video is going to come out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me my channel out. And lastly, please make sure you follow me on Bookstagram as well as Storygraph. I will leave all of that information linked down below, as well as at the end of the video like I always do. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.